Hi everybody, welcome back to my research where I endeavor to figure out how Girlypop each and every one of the villagers in Animal Crossing are. Today we're going to be talking about the Anteaters, and unlike the cat video that we just did, the Anteaters only have about like 10 villagers in it, so this one will be a more quick video. But since I have a little bit of extra time, I want to address some things first. Hi to the Animal Crossing girlies who have found me. I noticed that there are some people who have discovered my channel through this series. Welcome in. So glad to have you here. Also, a lot of people were worried about the amount of villagers in some of the categories. Like sometimes there's like 3, sometimes there's like 5, sometimes there's like 30. I'm just gonna approach it as they come. Some of the videos are going to be quicker, some of them are going to be longer, but the real goal of this series is to really dive into the villagers of Animal Crossing. As y'all know, I love character design, I love unpacking it, I love giving my opinions on it, and I also love how this channel has become this big conversation of character design, how when I say something it sort of motivates other people to put their hat into the ring. It gives me a fuller understanding of why I like these topics, and it also gives me a more rounded out understanding of the value in other types of character design. I love all types of video games, but frankly, I haven't really had a lot of chances to fully delve into the world of Animal Crossing as much as I want to. I've played a handful of the games. I love watching videos and essays on Animal Crossing, but I really want a hands-on experience and an understanding of which villagers I like and all of their nuances, and this series is kind of like me selfishly trying to research and do content at the same time. I just really want to grow and expand these conversations, and I think this is a really fun way to get that started. I noticed that the last video was pretty well received, and even though it's not necessarily Pokemon, I really hope that y'all enjoy this ride. I hope that the people who don't know Animal Crossing are going to learn alongside me. I hope the people who do know Animal Crossing find this exciting and fun. Anyway, let's talk about the tiers. Mother tier is for characters who are pushing the envelope. They're not only Girlypop, but they're taking it further. They're really showing how horizontal, how broad, how far this concept and aesthetic can go. Girlypop are for the characters that are solidly Girlypop. Now, what is Girlypop? Girlypop often references like girly things, soft things, kawaii things, but it can also be a reverence for really solid execution of a concept. You know, sometimes we have more masculine aesthetics, sometimes we have really weird aesthetics, but in all, it belongs under the umbrella of Girlypop because it's intentional. There's a vision there and we can see it. And sometimes it's just like really cute. Okay is for a character that isn't bad, but it's just like missing something. It feels a little bit weak. You know, often we say in many of my videos that okay is for a character that can complement a Girlypop. Like in a Pokemon team, you might have a Pokemon that's the star of the team, and then you have like okay tier characters that complement it. The same goes for Animal Crossing. You might have some villagers that really are the star, and then you have like the background characters. You know, they can serve to accentuate the vision. Then we have looks around. This isn't an all-out skip, but it's just so weak that I can't imagine the potential for it. I can't imagine working with it, though I could see somebody else maybe working with it, somebody else seeing the potential. Then we have Skip. Like I said in the last video, I hope that this character did not spend the money to come to my town, village, island, what have you, because the money was wasted. Quickly before we get started, thank you to all the girlies in the Girlypop Research Fund. Y'all are the people who are directly enabling me to take on little projects like this, and I'm very, very thankful. Now, let's get started and figure out how Girlypop each and every one of the Anteaters are. Now, starting with Anabelle, her favorite saying is dance like no one's watching, and her catchphrase is Snorty. I wanted to do Anteaters because I find the Anteaters in Animal Crossing to be really compelling, really interesting, really weird, and y'all know, the people who subscribed for a while know that I like the weird stuff. We did cats first because I feel like cats is like pretty mass market. There's a perspicacious nature to the cats. It's quite easy to digest, but now that we're here, I'm gonna start with the weird stuff. Well, I'll mix it in, but Anabelle is a really fun start. Now, Annabelle's design, as opposed to all of the other anteaters, her tail is actually flat and it's meant to reference a pangolin. I'm gonna put a little video of a pangolin up and y'all can tell me if this is Girlypop or not.
Walk a mile in these Louboutins.
I think Pangolins have that like weird, funky nature that is just really endearing and charming. And I think that the anteaters are definitely going to be going for the charm factor. Now, when it comes to Anabelle, what I really like are the hints of like pink and purple, juxtaposing with like the oranges and the yellows on her entire look. It looks like a Malibu sky. It's very much like Vice City. I really like it. Her house, it's not like going crazy like some of the cats that we saw in the last video, and I'm interested to see if any of the anteaters do have a very unique house, but it's put together, it's cute, it has little hints of colors that actually match her outfit. I think all in all, Miss Penguin Diva, who is kind of like hiding in the anteater category, I'm gonna put Anabelle in Girlypop. Next we have Annalisa. Her favorite saying is "home is where the heart is," and her catchphrase is "gumdrop." Obviously, we're getting geisha references with her, and I really like this. I honestly think it looks really pretty.
You cannot call yourself a true geisha until you can stop a man in his tracks with a single look. You are ready.
There's something about the fluffy tail on anteaters that just gets me together. I just really like it. It looks like just a really bushy, voluminous ponytail, but it's a tail and not like a hair thing. Anyway, I just think that that really adds to their silhouette. I love that on pretty much all of them. It's really campy to have a anteater resemble a geisha. Like I said in the cat video, it's like Animal Crossing will do this thing in their characters where it's like, let's just make the character reference this one really specific thing and not explain why. I do wish that she was a little bit more tongue-in-cheek with her catchphrase or with her saying, but she's also like the normal type personality, and what I'm learning is the normal type personality doesn't really go for camp that much. So with that in mind, it's actually really powerful that she's giving us like gorgeous, gorgeous geisha, and the makeup really is laid. The outfits, the first outfit was all right. It didn't really match. I appreciate that the second outfit actually finally goes full on camp with it. When it comes to the homes, I actually prefer the first iteration because it has like hints of pink. I feel like with this geisha, this pink, this pastel, I really want to see that in the home. So the most recent one is kind of like a little bit disappointing, but for a normal personality type, all the things put together, I mean, she really does give the serve fully. So I'm gonna put her in Girlypop. I wish she pushed it a little bit further, but it's fine. Next we have Antonio. His favorite saying is "go for the burn," and his catchphrase is "honk." Now, the fun thing about Animal Crossing is it's like sometimes I'm just wondering how far can they take the pun, how far can they take the joke. This is why I was a little bit disappointed in the previous Anteater, because like the catchphrase didn't even like mention the nose, like the big long goofy Anteater nose. I think it's so cute, and I like to see how far they can take it. Also in the names, there's like ants in the names, Antonio. I think it's funny. His look is supposed to look like the giant anteater, so I'm happy with the reference there. I want to say this, when you look at the home, when you look at his outfits, he really loses a lot of personality in his most recent iteration. I love that star. I think that that really matches his phrase, like "go for the burn." He just seems like the jock personality type that's really, really inspiring. He's gonna motivate you in the gym. That house in like midway through the story, I don't know what it is, but it just really, I think that that's so camp. Like he has this like beach home and he just sits in the middle with his little lawn chair. I don't know. Something about Antonio's really, really charming. We already have some divas that have shown up, and even them, they haven't even been able to get to mother. I think the fact that Antonio, when compared to the two already, doesn't really give Girlypop, and he loses a lot of the charm and personality in his most recent iterations, we're gonna have to just put him in a solid okay. Next, we have Cyrano. His favorite saying is "don't punch your nose to spite your face," and his catchphrase is "achoo." Now, this might go over some people's head, but Cyrano is actually a reference to Cyrano de Bergerac, the titular character having a large nose. I'm telling you, the pun's gonna keep going, and this is why it's so fun to dig into Animal Crossing. It's like, it's this goofiness just for the sake of being goofy. Now this character, messy all around. I do like that wave shirt in his first look. And the second look, it's just really, really pretty. But the thing is like the Anteaters have this just strange silhouette with that bushy tail that if you add a pretty color and a pretty shirt, it's just gonna look really pretty. I think the Anteaters are kind of like the unspoken look queens of Animal Crossing. I guess we'll figure that out as we do more animals. The house really ties it all together to be just fully messy. And then the last outfit is just, I don't like any of it. It doesn't make sense. He already wasn't really aspected towards girly popology, and then with just like the messy execution, it's like, now, I will give him credit. He is a booked diva. He does appear in that little anime moment, but I don't think that that's enough for him. I'm gonna put Cyrano in skip. Next, we have Lulu, and I'm really excited to talk about her. She doesn't appear in any of the games other than the expanded version of Animal Crossing in the Japanese exclusive. So her catchphrase is
あらあら。あらあら。
which means
Oh my god.
in English. Now, when you look at her, we only have like one iteration, but you see a lot of potential, right? The name Lulu, very, very cute. The catchphrase, very girly pop. She's the one that got away, right? There's potential there. I see her carving out that snooty personality. I mean, you saw in the Snooty cats, they're really, really about aesthetic. They're really, really about actualizing a vision, and I see a vision forming here. Lulu, because we don't really know where her story will go, because we already have some pretty strong girly pops in aesthetics, I'm going to put her in okay, and I wish I could put her in girly pop. And honestly, so far, because of what we're seeing and how the Anteaters serve, I think it's time to put Annalisa up into mother. She's giving us a hard concept. It reminds me a lot of how far Anka took it. And right now, Anka really is a good example of how to encapsulate mothering in Animal Crossing. Like I said already, it's not necessarily my favorite, but because it's so well-rounded, because it goes so far, because it gets so niche, it becomes mother. Next, we have Nosegay. Her catchphrase is, honk. I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I really love that they're just taking this to an absurd level of comedy with the Anteater puns. Nosegay obviously sounds like nose. Because we're at this side of the internet, I also really love that it just says Nosegay like, I don't know, I feel like a drag king should name themselves Nosegay. And for people who don't know, Nosegay is another word for a bouquet of flowers. Now clock that. You see what she's wearing, right? The flower moment. It's pun on pun on pun on deep cut pun. And this is fun. She only appears in Animal Crossing, and just like Lulu, there's a story there that I wish could have been developed more. What I really like is that her name feels a little bit iconoclast. I'm a bouquet of flowers, but because I have to do a pun, I'm going to use a word that represents my sort of artistry. Nosegay. Like Nosegay does have like an iconoclast moment to it. All of this in mind, the paintings just manically all around her room, her appearing only once, it's almost as if she had this idea. She just came and moved into your island, and she just had this like artistic vision. She created it. That was her art pop, and then she left. And we're all wondering where she went. Just like with Lulu, it's an undeveloped story, but she leaves us on a cliffhanger that's really, really interesting. And because the Anteaters are so weird and wild and crazy, I think I want to put her in girly pop. There's a narrative there that I want to dig in more. Next we have I almost said next we have nose. Next we have Olaf. His favorite saying is keep your nose clean, and his catchphrase is whiffa. Now Olaf is referencing olfactory, the sensory system of smelling. I mean, I don't know, like I'm not really like obsessed with puns, but it's the fact that like every single one is a pun. It crosses the threshold so far, and it just keeps walking that you can't help but circle back to laughing at it. Anyway, this is a full-on serve. I'm loving it. A newer queen, but each look is giving what it needs to. You know, minor adjustments here and there. You know, you're always polishing out and optimizing, right? And it's the same with the house. I'm just really liking it. I think especially because he's in the category of Anteater, which does want for a little bit more serves. It's not as competitive as, say, the cats. I think Olaf deserves mother. Next, we have Pango. Her favorite saying is, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. She must be talking about me. Her catchphrase is, snoof. Now, Pango, is coming for Annabelle's gig with the whole pangolin reference. The difference between these two is not only the color and the look, but also Pango has a fluffy tail. Interesting choice, but I'm not really mad at it. I think that her coloring is really, really cute. I think from first impression, from her outfit, she might seem more of like an aesthetic type of lifestyle, like very humble, very like down to earth. She's not very material. She's walking around with like potato sacks and very like minimalistic sort of like thrifted goods. But then you get to the house and you realize that she's not thrifty. It's just the budget only allows for the house because homegirl has a gorgeous house. You know, this is really difficult because when I'm thinking of Pango, I really want to put her in Girlypop because her house is just so immaculately done. But it's just like the visual impression, the first impression. I mean, when somebody is visiting my village, when I've customized it and everything, she really does kind of look like the odd one out, especially for like a Girlypop aesthetic, because like the potato sack moment, it's probably not a potato sack, but it looks like one. It doesn't give fashion or camp. It just like kind of looks like an afterthought to me. But her makeup is cute, the hair is cute, the house is cute, but she wouldn't be one of the stars. She would complement it, and like I always say, okay does kind of serve as a compliment. I'm gonna put her in okay. Next we have Snooty. Her favorite saying is request for permission, not forgiveness, and her catchphrase is sniff. I really like her. I like her hair. I like her colors. I mean, y'all know me. Y'all know my aesthetic. This is kind of my aesthetic here. There's some misses though. That she's a weaker serve, and I don't want the pink to carry her. Her appearances in Animal Crossing and New Horizons are a little bit, there's no cohesion. I don't really understand her character a lot, and especially for a Snooty personality type, like as this research is developing, I'm expecting a little bit more from Snooties, especially if your name is Snooty, you have the personality Snooty. I'm looking for a concept because more often than not, the Snooty girls, they're aesthetic divas, they're visual divas. I know that she has a very disjointed appearance in the Animal Crossing story. She's like in Animal Crossing, and then she doesn't show up again until like Welcome Amiibo, which I'm not really going to consider that because that feels a little bit more spin-off. I feel like we should really be looking at like the major houses, and the major houses don't make sense, but even if you want to include like the spin-off houses, they still don't make sense. I also believe that her outfit is a downgrade. The first look is a lot cuter. As much as I want to put the pink one in Girlypop, honestly, Snooty looks around. I don't like the look. I don't like the house. Next, we have Zoe, and I don't think that she really references any like Anteater puns other than her catchphrase, but her favorite saying is don't sign until you've read the whole thing. Okay, wise diva. And her catchphrase is whiff or zoo. That's weird. Anyway, this is a visual queen. Let's first talk about the houses. The houses, once again, feel disjointed, but they're both quite Girlypop. I mean, like, she's really trying to reheat Tangy's nachos, or was she the first one to do a sit? I don't know if Tangy was in Animal Crossing, but anyway, Tangy just really monopolizes that aesthetic in my head. The second house doesn't match her at all, but it's cute. It's like giving like cozy grandma cottagecore. I like that. But what I really want to talk about is the look. I think that she could really be the star in a like a very unique psychedelic, like a psychic type trainer coded like look to a village or an island or a town. I really like her. Her eyes remind me of Muna, and I'm a big Muna stan. Maybe I'm biased, but I think that Zoe is Girlypop. The visual is really carrying for me, and that is the tier list for the Anteaters in Animal Crossing so far. I'm sure they'll add more in the future. I really like the Anteaters. I am really happy to have done the research and to have gotten to know them. I think it's really interesting talking about them in comparison to the cats. I also feel in myself that I'm starting to understand some through lines, some patterns with the different personality types. Also, you have to give credit where credit is due. While the cat stuff did have a lot of puns, I really do feel like the Anteaters went harder with the puns, and like I said in the video, it's funny and then it hits that threshold of not being funny, but then you go so far that it circles back to being funny because it's just so ridiculous. I really like that. I don't know about you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Whatever you're up to next, I hope it goes by super, super well. I hope to see you next time. Bye!